Hello, everybody. This is your favorite piece of shit, Nicholas Party, and this is A Few Choice Words. To my left,
My name is Caleb Aru.
and to my right,
My name's Maddie.
today we'll be talking about love and the troubles it brings us. Do you guys have anything to say before we get into this wonderful episode?
I'm just ready to get it started, man.
I'm just ready to keep an open mind.
Okay, do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Didn't we just?
You said your name. That's not much of an introduction.
Maddie, you go first.
Why me?
Because.
Alright, okay. So, my name is Maddie. I'm about to be a college dropout. I work at Chipotle with Nick and Caleb. Nick is my cousin. Caleb is my coworker.
Strictly.
Yeah. I don't know. Love is tough. It's 2018. Struggle is real. I mean, yeah, that's about it.
My name is Caleb. I am 17 years old, and like she said, I work at Chipotle with them. I've been friends with both of them for a while now, and I'm just super excited to just get our viewpoints out there and just talk about our lives and hopefully entertain you guys.
And clearly they know who I am. I'm their favorite piece of shit, so I need no introduction.
Wow.
I would like to ask Maddie something real quick.
Okay.
She knows a lot about this topic, and I'm not too familiar with it. Caleb knows a little bit about it. But could you tell me a little bit about love languages?
Ooh, okay, yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
So,
Okay.
your love language is a test that you can take to figure out, like, what is important to you in relationships. So, like, there's 5 things that they rank for you. Mine goes quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, and gifts. So basically, it ranks what you need in a relationship, and if you and your partner or whoever you're talking to want to take it together and you guys have like similar love languages, it's going to be a really, really like steady relationship, really straightforward with what you guys want. And if you have opposite love languages, you're going to struggle a little bit because what you want and what you give and what you take are all going to be completely different. So, yeah.
So, you mentioned your love language.
Yeah.
Does it have a name? Your 5 things?
Yeah. So, but my top one is the quality time. So,
Okay.
like, my lowest is gifts. I got like a 0 on gifts. So, gifts don't matter to me at all. But quality time, I think I got a 12 on. So basically that means, to me at least, if I like you, if I care about you, I want to spend loads of time with you. Being with somebody who I care about is really, really important to me. And so is like words of affirmation, like telling me how you feel and where we stand, and also physical touch. So, yeah.
Okay, and just for them out there, how can we figure this out? Like,
okay.
Our love languages?
If you just want to Google love language, a test will pop up. It only takes like 10 minutes, but it's super straightforward. And looking back, now that I know my love language, it's kind of easy to see where certain things went wrong for me.
Okay. My next question is going to be about relationships. And I would like Caleb to start off, if that's okay with you.
Oh, what is your question?
So, kind of having to do with love languages, people have certain needs and wants, and what's important to them in a relationship. And my question is, have you ever been in a toxic relationship? Because right now, with the age of Finsta, it seems as though toxicity in relationships is at an all-time motherfucking high. So I'm just curious if either of you guys had a toxic relationship. If you don't want to talk about it, it's fine.
You could always pass.
So what? My first question is, I hear that all the time. What specifically defines a toxic relationship?
Okay, that's a little difficult.
I think that could be. I think that could be defined by yourself. Like if you.
Yeah.
Because what could be toxic to you might not be toxic to me. You know what I mean? So.
Okay, so give me an example of a toxic relationship.
Well,
so
it depends on. I feel like it depends on the person. Is there anything that you? Is there a relationship that you've been in that you could consider toxic? That you think.
See,
any qualities that you consider toxic? Think of toxic as a word.
I haven't really been in many relationships, but I would definitely say that I would definitely say that there are aspects of any relationship that are toxic. So yeah, I've definitely been in a toxic relationship.
Okay. Have you?
I would say I wouldn't chalk like a whole relationship up to being completely toxic. But I would say I've been in certain situations or like certain periods of time in a relationship that were definitely toxic, and it's hard to get through. And
And I think for myself, I think I have been in a brutally toxic relationship. We don't need to get into specifics on who it was with, but it's one of my first relationships, and I think from the get-go, it was apparent that the relationship was going into some fucked up realm that I don't think any relationship should go into. So, first, I met this girl, fucking fell in love. Like, I'm keeping it real. This is about love.
Yeah, you definitely
I fell in love
Yeah.
with her. They can both attest because
You called me about her every day.
dude, it was hardcore.
Yeah, dude, I was enamored by this girl, and then we fought about every little thing, whether it was fucking hanging out with my friends, and just to be clear, I realized that this coming from me, may sound like I'm putting it all on the girl, and I don't want that to be the case because I definitely had some input onto why that
Right.
relationship was so fucked up. But yeah, from the get-go, we fought about everything, whether it was hanging with friends, not saying something. There was always something that I was missing, and I thought was expected from me that I felt like shouldn't be. And at the end, it was kind of just like a fucking shit show.
Right.
Honestly, now I'm thinking about it and talking about it, all of these memories are going through my head, and I'm like, I don't even know where to fucking start.
I think one of the main problems in that was when you guys did have a problem, there was so little communication that it just amplified. It could be a simple problem, but because of miscommunication and then or like refusal to talk about it at all, it just spiraled into like something evil. You know what I mean?
I agree because we fought about it, and it was never like, let's figure out the argument and let's get to the bottom of
Right.
it. Let's fix this. It was always about who's gonna win this fucking fight.
Mhm.
It's either me or her, and we're out for fucking blood.
Right. And it's
Like-
not I think it's not necessarily always who's like even right. It's just who can argue the longest, who will put in the most time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Can I say this? I've been thinking about like what a definition of a toxic relationship is to me
Oh,
now.
okay.
And the thing that I think makes a toxic relationship is if you are not, there's nothing good coming out of it. Like you aren't benefiting from
Agreed.
it. You're not growing
Okay.
better as a person. Like it's not making you happy. It's just,
Wow.
you know what I mean? That's what I view as a toxic relationship now that I've thought about it.
Pretty sick.
We love that.
Yeah.
We don't love toxicity, but we love that answer.
I think, speaking for myself, the relationship that I was in, at the time, I felt like I was gaining a lot. I thought I was in love. I was in love, but I thought I was, gaining a new perspective and all this shit. But
Right.
at the end of the day, I wasn't. But the one thing I did learn from that was what I want in a relationship now. And I think that's what relationships do.
Right.
Failing ones, working ones, whatever it is, you can take something from every relationship you're in and apply it to what you want in the future.
Yeah.
I kind of lost where I was going with the toxic
but-
shit, but and I agree with Caleb what he said,
Yeah.
and yeah, man.
I do totally agree with that though, because I feel like even my worst relationships, like if I could pick out like the worst one, the stuff that I took away from it, what I realized that I needed as a person in order to be happy and to like really flourish with someone, I totally took that away from the bad relationships. Like what was this lacking that made it so difficult for me? So I think that's pretty key.
And sorry, my stomach is acting up, but I know me and you have talked about it. We like to see the good in people.
Yeah.
And in bad relationships, that's a bit of a problem.
It's a bad
The
trait
only
to
reason
have.
the only reason I'm not mentioning you is because I never had this conversation with you.
Right.
I could definitely say that I'm not as much like that. I can see the good in people, but usually when there's a lot of bad, the good never wins for
Yeah.
me.
I think for me, I hate to think that someone is like totally bad. I don't like thinking that people have bad intentions. I believe that people are inherently good. And when it comes to relationships, that can really bite me because not everyone is going to have the best, like my best interest in mind. You know, people are selfish, and it's tricky for me at least, and I know for Nick, to really decide what is, oh, they're like troubled, they're struggling, and what is they're taking advantage of me. And that
I think that's why usually people always ask for my opinion on what I think of people, is because like everyone, like any like girl,
you're straight up.
I usually am the best judge of how a relationship will go with that person.
I would say especially out of the three of us. Like if I want solid, real advice, who is this guy? What do you think? I'm like, Caleb, listen.
Never ask me.
Because you'll tell me straight up. You'll be like, Maddie.
Maddie can. For me, I don't know what it is, but there's a strong urge in me to give people the benefit of the doubt and defend them like they are, like I'm a fucking public defender. I'm wondering, is love at first sight real?
Ooh, I love that question. Caleb, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
Is love at first sight real?
Because I have a total opinion on this.
No.
You don't think it's real?
Okay, well, you can say your side.
Go for it.
I think, I'm not going to say you can, like, love someone completely. I do think infatuation at first sight is 100% real.
Guilty.
If you see someone and you just, there's something about them, it's not even necessarily their look. It's honestly a feeling that you get, you know, when you honestly just have instant chemistry with someone. So infatuation at first sight is 100% real, happens all the time, happened to me before. I don't think you can say that that's love. I think a lot of people say that it is, and they're like, oh, like love at first sight, I totally knew. You did not know. You wanted to know. Like everybody wants to know. When you have a crush and everything spirals through your mind, you're like, oh, I could be so happy with them. Oh, this, oh, that. Sure, you could consider that love at first sight if it's successful, but what are the odds that it is? And if it's not, then you're like, oh, that wasn't love at first sight. That was just, oh.
I agree. Because, you know, I've thought that I've had love at first sight.
Right.
Clearly,
Who hasn't?
It was infatuation.
Right.
You know, and I don't want to sound too crazy with this, but, you know, you hear people talk about energy and, like, you want to share positive energy and shit like that. I'm not too big into, like, auras and such, but I am into, like, you can generally, you know, you can kind of tell what kind of vibe somebody's giving off. And when you see somebody that, and you get that infatuation for them, you know, you can catch their vibe, and then you can, you know, it is partially looks.
Right.
I mean, and then, you know, you guys can get interest, and I think, but without even talking to them, I think when you catch the vibe and just how they carry themselves and how they treat other people, I think it's so easy to get infatuated with somebody. And right now, I'm maybe in that current situation. No further details, but I agree with you 100%.
I
don't know. I feel like I think that's the difference with me. Just like the situation with just like judging character is that I 100% I back off, and I like to scope things out and like figure people out before I kind of dive into things. Like any relationship I was in, like with my most recent, like I remember we've been talking since like 7th grade. Like when I first met her, I was just like some random bitch. I was playing tag, and then they're like, "That girl likes your hair."
Oh my gosh!
Oh fuck yeah!
And that was not the hair you have now.
Right, that was not good hair.
No,
that was horrible.
Sis, what were you doing?
That was my flippy shit.
I think you're like that with every situation, not just relationships. I think you as a person, you're always kind of like, let me research this shit. Let me figure out everything I can get and put it into a decision, which I think I'm kind of on the same wavelength, but just not as extreme.
I'm not like that at all, as we know. I will say
you're not.
I have been in a relationship that started off with like infatuation at first sight. I seriously, this guy that I dated for a month or two, I saw him and he smiled at me and it was like instant, oh my gosh, like he's so cute, he's so sweet. Like it was just, I knew right away that we clicked. You know what I mean? And it's just, I feel like sometimes chemistry is either there or it's not. And that was just a time when chemistry was there and it was there from the beginning and it was there at the end, but it just like didn't work out for other reasons. So I totally think it is important to have that kind of click in a relationship. And I think that's why I'm not as like scopey outy as Caleb is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I scope and research, but usually I'm like already in it by the time I'm researching.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's kind of why, like, growing up, I've always had such a tiny circle of friends. It's just because I take a while to, like, really let somebody, like, into my life.
And come around to somebody.
Like, if I
introduced somebody new into the group, you'd be weary at first. Wary? I don't know.
Yeah.
He would be, for
I would definitely
sure.
be. Yeah, like thinking, even, like, I, like, had, like, a lot of people I was cool with at school, but, like, probably, like, a good 2% of those people have come to my house and, like, actually, like, hung out with me. Because I just, there just has to be, like, a certain, like click, like you said, for, like, me to actually, like, let you into my life.
Yeah.
And that's just how I've always been.
I mean, yeah, I agree with your assessment of yourself. I think a lot of people have a lot of friends at school, and most of your friends at school aren't
school friends are school friends.
But like, if you look in like if you were to look at our school, like, well, my old school, but your old school, like the big groups of people like that are like the popular, like, high ups, all hail. They, like, all are always, like, just hanging out together, like.
Oh yeah.
And, like, I
don't understand how you hang out in such big groups. I need a core, like, 2, maybe 3 people. Honestly, 3 sounds a little much. Like 3 people besides me sounds like.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I have had a little bit of a different experience outside of this town and this school.
Right.
So when I used to go to my old school, I had. I actually made a lot of friends, surprisingly. But we actually hung out with a fuck ton of people, and that was completely new to me, and it still kind of is kind of weird thinking about it. But I think the thing was I was, I had like 3 main friends in that group.
Right.
And then we kind of always just had a group with us. But here's what I think the difference is. With us, and then with, like, groups like that hang out, I think it all matters on what you guys are doing. When I had that huge group with me, we were always smoking weed. We were always doing some hood rat shit, like,
right.
whatever it may be. I'm not gonna throw anybody under the bus or anything like that, but that scared the fuck out of me, dude.
If you guys,
please explain.
There's just a cat.
That's my cat.
It's his cat.
It
was like a stray cat.
That scared the fuck out of
me.
me.
It took me like a second.
And it's just randomly on Nick's windowsill that's on the 2nd floor.
I need to get him. Love to me, disregarding the whole definition, I honestly don't really know what it is.
Right.
Do you guys know what the definition of love is?
No.
You want me to look it up?
No, I don't. Because I don't think that would be...
You think we should define it?
I didn't actually read the dictionary when I couldn't go to recess in elementary school. So.
Did they try and make you do that?
Yeah, and we also had to write the character pledge 100 times.
How'd that go?
Trust, respect, and being fair helps to show others that we really care.
Oh, it went well.
We all know what's right. We all know what's good. We all do the things we know we should. I was in there a few times over the year.
Did your time?
The Harrison Police Department made me fucking write the code of conduct, which is some fucking thing about juveniles, like 20 times. So fucking stupid. Anyways, that's another discussion.
They just gave me that ticket, man.
What?
My ticket. I'm
She said they just gave her a ticket. The Harrison Police Department.
I have a lot of shit about the Harrison Police Department that you guys might not be in on, but
I like Hamilton County.
Yeah,
yes, I agree.
We stand Hamilton County.
Yeah.
Harrison.
The Harrison Police Department. Look, there's a couple of cops that I know that are cool, and I like you guys.
Yeah. Shout out to you
Yeah,
guys.
because I know you guys are watching the
viewers.
Harrison Police Department.
they're like putting this on the wall.
Half
like,
the
watch-
viewers are narcs anyways, dude. I don't trust none of you motherfuckers.
Mm-mm.
But anyways, I don't need to talk about. I'm not here to talk about the police department.
Right, that's the next podcast.
Yeah. But love to me is a feeling I get, and it's almost like an undefined drive towards something. So, motherfucker, I can say I love this podcast. I love making podcasts. I don't know.
That's very on brand of you.
Right. I don't really know what started it besides me enjoying it. But getting here, I love it, and I can't really explain it because describing it to myself is like I'm talking to a camera with people for other people to listen to.
Mm.
That's a little weird, but I love it. And that's man, where the fuck am I going?
I don't know, man, because I thought that this
No.
You're saying that it's the drive and like it's the passion,
and I can't really explain it. So with
Are you saying that love is undefinable?
Hell no, I'm not.
Oh, okay, define it.
It's momentum work.
How do you want me to define that?
I think.
You want me to make up my own fucking definition?
I mean, I thought that that's what we were doing because you didn't have a definition
I didn't
ready.
mean like
okay.
Officially,
I'm gonna give like what I like think like real love is.
All right, give it.
And it's all like based around one word, and it's like literally how I feel about everything in life. And the word is reciprocation.
Ooh.
If so, like for me to have like real love, like for like let's say like a wife, like married soulmate, like everything that I'm giving, like I want to feel it back. Everything has to like come back to meet in the middle as one. If I have all this passion, like I'm gonna want it to be reciprocated, and even with like acts, like everything needs to be reciprocated. Like people do things for a reciprocation of some kind of benefit. Like even people when they donate, they say they're just doing it, but they do it because it gives them a good feeling and it makes them feel better about themselves.
Ooh, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think that you're in a relationship now or a situation now where there's reciprocation?
I would say no, but I would say that the reciprocation is because it's not coming from me.
Okay.
I was gonna bring that up. I didn't want to sound like an asshole.
I will sound like an asshole. I want to know.
It used to be the other way around, but
I think because it used to be the other way around, it's like
that's why there were issues. Is because it was the other way around, and I was putting out so much, and I was doing so much, because I truly believe that when I am like truly in love, that I'm a great boyfriend. But after a while, it really wasn't being reciprocated, and it caused me to not put anything else out anymore. So then I was the one who wasn't reciprocating.
I think that is a very good point,
Mm-hmm.
and I can relate to that with my toxic relationship. One of, let's be honest, because there was never complete reciprocation. Stop fucking throwing these academic words at me.
I know. He's like, everyone's like, the toxicity.
Well, like, even, like, when me and Nick have problems, it's because I don't feel like things are reciprocated. That's, like, that's, like, the theme of any of my issues with Nick.
That's your issue with everyone, I feel like. If you are giving more than you are taking, you're pissed. You need to be giving and taking the same amount, or else you just feel...
your personality is give. Don't give anything to yourself.
Yeah. ENFP, so we really need people to give back, or else we're struggling.
So, like, I can definitely say that I'm a really good friend, but, so, what happens is I end up giving a ton, way more, like, so much more than is ever asked. And then, if I ever come to a situation where I need help or something, and I don't get it, like that, like, it hurts a lot. That's like a huge issue with me. And the way that Nick is he's just like, I don't ask for any of that shit, buddy. And then I'm just like, well, you got it, so do something with it, make me feel important.
Well, that's what kind of fucked up the last relationship I was in was, I don't want to say this, but I kind of, for a second, ghosted her. And it wasn't even intentional.
Right.
It was just like, yeah, I kind of just want to be alone.
Well, you, even in love, you like your alone time. Like, you
are...
are...
for sure.
Because I feel like if I am down for you, I could see you all the time. We could be together every second of every day, and if I like you, I don't care. And Nick is like, you could be the most important person to him, and he'd be like, I need to step back. I need a break. And it's like...
Yeah, like, he does it too. Like, he'll just, like...
So it would be hard.
He'd be like, dude, nothing against you, man. Like, I'm not texting anybody. And I'm like, dude, it's been a fucking week. He'd be like, I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Give me a second, dude.
Just give me some time.
And the thing is, can you guys at least acknowledge that I'm not trying to be a dick or anything?
No.
Like
I don't
that.
think
It's
that you
really
are at
just
all.
like I'm honestly when
I don't think
get
you're trying to be a dick. I just think
it comes off as dick. Okay, I'll be honest.
Well,
But when I'm in that type of phase or moment,
Mhm.
I'd never see it as a problem
No.
because it makes perfect sense to me. But to most logical people, it doesn't, and they're like, "This motherfucker's a piece of shit."
See,
like, fuck
no.
this
So,
dude.
like, the reason I don't... The reason...
The
Caleb
reason
has
I fucking
Caleb
hate you
has
is
a
because-
lot of
No,
opinions
the
on
reason
this
that I have a
subject.
problem with it is that... So, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I get it. Like, I'm just not that type of person who needs alone time. I grow off being with people, because I definitely love being around people. But Nick just doesn't look at other people's perspectives.
Is this an intervention?
No, dude.
For which one of us?
No, that's just because, like, it's just like, do you ever think about how the other people feel while you're doing this stuff? And Nick's just like, I just need time.
Well, the truth is, I don't, and it's not because they're not important. It's just
Mhm.
because
You're just more about worrying about yourself, and I'm more about worrying
I
about
don't think
others.
that's true. I
Sounds
think
so
the problem
horrible.
is no, but that's not like all there is
Not in a
to
bad
it.
way. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm just
yeah,
saying that's
just
not,
objectively, that's
Yeah.
what's happening.
I also think that with Nick though, I see the opposite. I'm with you. I'm like, oh, he totally needs his alone time, and then like a guy that I'm talking to will like ghost me for a few days, and I'm like, oh, this guy hates me. I'm like, he straight up just never wants to talk to me again. And then like 2 days later, he messaged me. He's like, sorry, I need some alone time. I'm like, does he really need alone time? And then with Nick, I'm like, he needs his alone time. Everyone, give him some space. Like it's totally like it, because in a relationship or like in a friendship, that's actually really hard.
Okay, well, since we're on this topic, I want to formally apologize to my co-host, Caleb. I'm sorry.
It's all good, bro.
I realize I'm a flawed person, Maddie. I apologize.
I'm not mad,
I'm not mad either.
I understand that.
but thank you for your apology.
Because right now I'm thinking about how you guys feel. And I don't, sometimes, it doesn't cross my mind. And I'll be honest with you guys. Sometimes that's just how I fucking roll. And I don't even realize it.
Right.
I don't realize the effect I have on other people.
Yeah, and the reason that our friendship works is that we just kind of have to let it go sometimes. And it's not always easy, but that's just what it comes down to. Because we're such good friends, it's not worth, like, not being homies over it.
Yeah. For sure. And I think...
Because I love this guy.
For
Who
the record,
doesn't?
I love these guys.
Who doesn't? I can name 2 girls right now.
All right, this has been a few choice words. No, that was a good one. That was a good one. All right, let's pick up another topic that we will totally stray away from. So I guess this can kind of be with me. Like this kind of apply to me. Do people ever need help with love? Maybe they have a hard time realizing when it's there, or they have trouble showing love.
I do not.
You don't think that's ever...
No,
okay.
I'm just saying I don't.
Yo.
know.
I show love very easily. I feel like if I like you, I will clarify to you first off. I will verbally clarify that I like you. If I like you at all, you will know.
I will not like verbally just be like, hey, I like you.
Caleb is really hard to get to be like, oh, I love you. Like I feel like Caleb now will tell me that, but before I'd be like, love you, and he'd be like.
Yeah, so, like, for me, I won't, like, be like, hey, I like you, but I go out of my way to make sure that you feel, like, important and special. Like, I just want to, like, spend my money to, like, show you, like, a nice restaurant or just, like, send you a text, like, compliment you. Like, I go out of my way to make sure that you know that I think you're important and special, but I won't be like, I like you, like, first right off the bat.
Okay, so maybe you two don't need help showing love or realizing when it's there. But do you guys think that there are people out there?
Do we think there's someone in this room who has trouble realizing that they're...
Or showing that they love.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes.
sure.
There's-
Yeah, Nick,
yeah,
Nick,
because
it's not
you're-
me. It's probably not Caleb. I'm not trying to call anybody out. We don't know. I mean, if there was somebody
it
in
might
this
have been
room...
the cat, but it's not in the room anymore. So.
Right. I would say I think for you, I don't know how to word this. I think for you, the problem isn't realizing that you like someone, that you love someone, that you care about them. It's showing them for sure, because not a call out. In your last relationship, your girlfriend, or not girlfriend, no, your girlfriend, she wanted like more, I don't want to say effort, but she wanted to know more. She wanted to see more that you cared. And you'd be like, oh, like, I just want to kick it with you. Like, I just want to spend time with you, blah, blah, blah. Like, let's hang out. Like, let me call you. And she was like, she wanted like grand gestures. She wanted like,
for example, like, she wanted
flowers.
Nick to like post her so bad.
And
Nick just did not understand. Like I can totally get why a girl want to be posted. Like me,
show the hoes that you're.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I just thought it was understood that I had no hose.
You're like, couldn't pull hose if I tried.
Did
Sorry.
you see this face? Jesus Christ.
Beautiful. But like, I was kind of like that before. Like, I was just posting shit all the time. But then I just kind of realized, like, it doesn't really matter who sees it. Like, like I was telling Maddie earlier, like, if I'm close with you, you'll know what's going on in my life and how I feel. But if I'm not, like, you don't need to know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anything. That's why I don't post on social media.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
I don't think any of us are. Like, I don't think we've ever. I feel like Caleb has been, not really recently, but I don't think any of us at where we're at right now, or like in recent past relationships, are like, oh, I'm gonna post about you all the time. Like, because if you know, and I'm spending so much time with you, obviously you know that I'm gonna be loyal. I'm not messing around with other people. I don't need that clarification.
I agree. Dude, my stomach is not doing too hot, but I think it's important in a relationship to be honest, and I'm not that type of person. You guys aren't like that either. You don't want to. I mean, it's not that you don't want to. It's just you don't have a need for it, and I don't think it's right to act like that. Like, I don't think you should act like you want to do it and do it. I think if you don't want to do it, you shouldn't do it, because that's just like.
If it's forced, it doesn't
mean anything.
And if I want validation from you, I will like ask you where we stand directly. I'll be like, hey, like, I was concerned about this. Oh, I was feeling this. I'm not gonna be like, I don't need you to post about me. If you're down for me, I'll know.
But I guess it's just because that's not what shows love, like, to us.
No, for sure
like
not.
That's not like what shows me you love me is that you want to post me on your social media. Like that.
It's like superficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was one of the problems was, I was asked certain things. I'm just gonna say these aren't real examples. They may or may not be. Bring me flowers, do all this shit like that. Like when we'd argue, she would bring to my attention, this is what I want. But to me, I didn't feel the need to do that, so I didn't. And I was like, look, I think that shit's superficial, and maybe getting somebody flowers is a kind gesture.
Yeah, so like basically, like it's not like you think it's stupid to do that stuff, but you want to do it when your heart feels like you should do it, not just to make her happy.
I don't want to be told to do something. I want it
You're
to come
not just
from
doing
me.
it to avoid an argument. You're doing it to show affection.
If I was dating someone, I would never be like, bring me flowers, because if I ask for them, it doesn't mean anything. If you bring me flowers, not even flowers, if you do something or go out of your way. Even if you brought me
a pack of Sour Patch
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you go out of your way to show someone, hey, I was thinking about you when I saw this, and so I got it, or like, hey, like, saw this post and thought of you, here, it, like, showing or sending something, that means a lot to me, because, yeah, you were thinking about me and you thought enough to, like, do something like that, but I don't need you to, like, I don't need constant gifts, I don't need flowers, it's just not on my radar at all.
And if somebody gets me some, I don't really give a fuck. Like
coffee.
Okay, coffee I enjoy.
Yeah.
But
the microphone.
Yes.
You don't give a fuck.
Oh. Okay, that was.
Bro, what about our float, dude?
We're talking about relationships, not friendships and gifts or anything like that.
I'm joking.
I appreciate all of the things you guys have done for me.
The float was for me too, dude. And
I feel like lately, I've tried to bring that to your guys' attention.
Oh yeah, definitely appreciate it.
So, I just there's things that I just don't give a fuck about. And flowers, posts, Valentine's Day is a little different because everybody expects it. It's not just
Right.
your relationship, it's everybody fucking
Yeah,
out
that'd
there.
be different.
Because that's a day where everybody wants to celebrate love and feel special. So that's different, I understand. But all that bullshit, it's bullshit to me. I don't really give a fuck. Like, and that's not, doesn't sound good to a lot of girls. And I'm sorry, but, you know, I'm ruining every chance I have with a
Right.
girl.
Your
But-
future girlfriend is watching this and she's like, nope, she just clicked off.
Yeah, okay, well, I had a,
Ladies, don't ask for it. Maybe he'll deliver and you won't even know.
no, okay, yeah. So, back to when we were talking about learning shit from relationships
Mhm.
and, you know, gaining what you would like in a relationship. I think my first, like, real relationship, I learned that, and this was, we both agreed on this. We liked it to be on the down low. We didn't give a fuck about the flashy shit, which is the complete opposite of my last relationship, and that's why one of the reasons I wasn't happy was because everything felt weird to me, and that's just not my preference. So I learned that from that relationship. I like it on the DL. From the relationship after, I don't like being asked of things that are superficial to me, and I don't, you know, I don't agree with. Is it recording?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, like,
I was trying to be humble.
so I think,
You are homie.
so I am very thankful for those relationships, but, yeah, man, I just don't really care about that shit.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned from my past relationship. What do you guys think is the most valuable thing you've learned about your preferences in relationships and what you'd like in them?
I honestly like just the most valuable thing, like just all around is just laughter for me. That's like the biggest thing. Is like, true. Like if you can like really make me laugh, like I'm happy. Like if you like my jokes, you like my sense of humor, like that just makes me feel great. And if I can like go out with you and laugh with you and just have a good time, it's cool. Like I want to be able to have a conversation. I love talking, learning about people, like kind of slowly unraveling myself. That's like just kind of the huge thing is just laughter for me.
And when we all hang out, we're always talking about something. We're
Yeah.
not. You know,
I never laugh around you guys.
I don't like. You know, I
Play
think.
back to all the times Caleb has laughed in this video, please.
Not.
I think nowadays it's kind of lost in friendships of like conversations, deep conversations, and
Yeah.
you know, relating to one another and
We're always on some deep
and sharing perspectives. Because you know, this generation, it's like, I can use music for an example. Lil Pump. You know, he releases short ass music that's repetitive as fuck, and you listen to it one time, you know it, and then it's like over with. And our generation is smoking weed together, and conversation and deep thoughts and introspective thinking isn't really valued anymore. So I think,
Money, bitches, and drugs. That's like all people.
no, but
care
that's the
about now.
thing is like, you know, in a relationship it's important to be able to have conversations, to have good
Yeah.
times, and laugh without anything being forced, like smoke. Like my last relationship, there's a lot of weed smoking from the other side, and it fucking sucked because I
Yeah.
don't smoke anymore, and nothing really felt real because I don't know if she was in reality or anything like that. And I think with us, we hold that to our hearts, like, this is real shit. We're honest with each other. This is hard to bring it back to the point I was going to make. So I'm going to send it to you.
On what? What are you sending?
What's valuable to
Oh,
you?
what's valuable to me in relationships? Oh, okay, from my first relationship, I learned that time for me is so vital. If you are crazy busy, you never want to hang out with me, it's just not going to work. Because for me, I want to be with you. I want to spend time with you. I want to hang out with you. Not all the time, but if I like you and I'm down for you, I want to see you. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like, oh, I'm so busy, sorry. I don't want texts all the time. I want to see you, genuinely. I like being with people, and I feel like that is something that's kind of lost in relationships a lot, because it's like, oh, like, I'm so busy this week, but like, I'll text you, I'll FaceTime you, blah blah blah. And I want, like, when we're hanging out, I want to click with you, I want to be there with you. Like, I don't know, that's just so important to me. And I think that's probably the number one thing for me in all my relationships, because if you're not going to make the time to hang out with me, it's like, we might as well not even try. We'll flop, because that is so key.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, actually,
For,
I don't.
yeah, for
I don't
me,
agree with
you
that.
know that's how I am.
I agree that makes sense for you. For
Yeah.
me, I mean, I care about time.
You're like, I don't fuck with that, but she.
No. So you said what's valuable. We all said what's valuable. So here's my next question.
Oh, well, like, also with that, though, like, going back to the reciprocation thing, like that. So, like, I would say that of all of us, like, I love myself the least. And I think that's why reciprocation is so big for me, is because, like, with my personality, I'm always, like, never worrying about myself, and I'm always giving. And, like, it sounds kind of shitty, but it's almost like an investment. Like, that's why sometimes I expect some back, because I'm relying on the people that I'm giving to and loving to help bring me up as well. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel
that.
And if you're truly able to do that for me, then I'm happy. That's what makes me happy in a relationship.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I was actually thinking about asking this. So, you know, is it, so you say you love yourself the least?
Yeah.
He's very sure on that. Yeah, for sure, guys.
How important do you think self-love is?
I'd say it's definitely introduced some problems for me, because my lack of confidence, it definitely does make things a little bit harder at times. So I'd say it's pretty important.
Okay, so Maddie, do you say you love yourself?
Yes. I would say overall I do. Of course I have problems. Just like everybody else. I do think Caleb really struggles. Which I've talked to Caleb about this so many times, because he gets really in his head about certain stuff. And we've had long talks about this, about how I think you're so crazy about, like, certain things that you're insecure about, because it honestly never crosses anyone else's mind but your own. But it's hard to tell someone that you love, like, no one is thinking that besides you. Like, everyone loves this about you. You're stressing over nothing. Like, it's hard, because no matter how many times I say that, no matter how many times I say that, you know how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
Regardless of how everyone else feels.
Like, when it comes to, like, relationships and stuff, I definitely think that self-love is important, because if you don't love yourself while you're going into a relationship, you're kind of putting your heart at risk while you're already damaged and, like, unhappy. Like, any relationship you go in, nothing's ever guaranteed that everything's going to work and you're going to get married and you're going to be happy. So when you put yourself out there, you're putting yourself at risk. And if you don't have a solid enough
love and understanding for yourself,
grounding for yourself, then it's like going to war with soldiers with no arms.
I agree with that.
I would too, yeah.
So you say you love yourself. How would you maybe advise some people who have insecurities or anything like that and really have a struggle appreciating and loving themselves? How would you say to go about that? I know that's a tricky.
It for sure is, and I think
I think asking you is, like, my best bet to help me, because I think we all look up to each other,
right?
And
for different aspects, for sure.
And I think that is another thing, is if people look up to you, I think that helps a lot with loving yourself.
Yeah.
So, do you think there's any ways to kind of accept yourself and love yourself? And, like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to even begin.
No, I just think for a lot of people, I think you need to step back and realize, as many critiques as you have for yourself, there's 5 amazing things that other people see in you. And I see this with my friends and people that I've been in relationships with. How hard you are on yourself does not matter to the people who care about you. I say this to my friends all the time, because my friends are like, oh, I don't look good today, blah, 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 like this, my hair, my makeup, my body, blah, blah, blah. what your friends see and what people you love see is so different from your view on yourself that I think it's important to check yourself and check where your head is at, because it's so easy to hate on yourself, put yourself down, especially with like media and stuff like that. Seeing flawless people, seeing sections of people's lives is so crippling to your mental health, because you think, oh, this person is so perfect. You need to step back, realize what you see on social media is the smallest, best fraction of people that they're putting out there, and also understand that no matter how much you put yourself down, there are so many people who are always going to want to uplift you.
That kind of makes me think about the Dax song again. She cheated again, because he talks about how, like,
For the record, you are enamored by this song.
Yes.
Oh, I really enjoy this song. But he talks about this part where like how the fuck is he supposed to be able to go on Instagram and make himself look all happy and living this life when he's fucking depressed.
Right.
And like it just shows like nobody's like, I think that's why girls just love Finsta so much, because there's the percentage. If you look at a girl's main account in their Finsta, there's like 10 pictures on their main of just how much they love themselves, and then they post like 15 pictures of negativity on their Finsta, and it just shows the percentage of happiness and like negativity that they see in themselves. And that's why they love Finsta so much, is because they can actually show off the negative things in their life, and they have so much more to show off for their negative side than they do their positivity.
Is this a call out post?
No.
This is all girls.
Yes.
Sorry.
You know, with Finstas, it's like they have their main accounts, right? And
It's just their outlet to just show their
right. But think about this: their main accounts, they let almost everybody who tries to follow them. Mm-hmm. With their Finstas, it's a select group of people, and I think that kind of just shows how uncomfortable they are
with themselves.
Because yes, they're showing it off to their Finsta and they feel good about that, but they're not really showing it off. And except, I mean, most Finstas I see, they only allow like 20 people to follow.
Yeah, can I? Okay.
Yes, go ahead, because you are a Finsta owner.
Yeah, as someone with a Finsta, I would say for me,
I think you're doing pretty good in terms of the rest of the population with Finstas.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I mean, I do post my fair share of negative stuff on there, but for me, it's not about like, oh, like this is what people are going to see. I need an outlet for my feelings. Self-reflection for me is so important. It really helps me work through. I used to keep a journal, and I try to keep up with it as much as I can, but it's so much easier to just like write a quick post and put it out there than it is for me to sit down and like write an entry. So me posting on that, it's not so much as being like, oh, I'm so happy I can't show this to anyone. It's like getting my feelings out, which originally I have had that account that I use for my Finsta now for like 2 years now, longer than that. And I actually used to use it for like other personal reasons. Like I would track like my body and stuff like that, and eventually I started posting about like my feelings and stuff like that. Finstas became really popular, and I kind of switched up what my account was for. Like I deleted a lot of the old negative posts about myself, and I just started posting stuff for like my friends to see. So I do think it's like, I kind of, when I made it into a Finsta, I feel like I almost made it less negative than it was before.
Yeah, for sure. Because I remember when you kind of had it at the beginning, it almost like, I think you had the account before I found it.
Oh yeah, I had it with 0 followers, like a private account just for me.
And I remember when I followed it, it wasn't even negative. What I remember, it was just kind of like things. Like yeah. I don't know how to explain it because I don't really remember that well.
Well,
but it was almost like a journal.
Yeah.
And I had another point, and I want to say it before I forget it.
Okay.
So, with loving yourself and, you know, how difficult it is, you just got to think about, you have lived with yourself your whole life. You have had the opportunity, every time you look in the mirror, every time you self-reflect, to recognize the flaws you have and, you know, make these opinions of yourself. But when you meet somebody, they're never even going to catch on to the things you have created in your mind, because they've only known you for a short period, or clearly not as long as you've obviously lived with yourself. So I think for me, when I realized that, I think, okay, nobody else thinks this about me. I've probably exaggerated this in my mind. Um, and with all the people I know, and when I'm close with them and I open up to them, they're like, I've never thought that once about you or anything like that. My nose. I used to be so embarrassed of it. Now I'm just fucking embracing it, dude.
One thing that Nick used to be so embarrassed of was his leg hair, because he had the hairiest legs in the junior high. And now you don't care. You wear shorts if you fucking want to. It doesn't matter to you as much.
Yeah, because I just felt like an outsider. But when you there's things that you think of that you think are horrible.
Right.
But it's like, that's fucking normal, dude. Like, you're gonna grow hair in your legs. Everybody does.
Not even that it's normal. I think everyone is so worried about their own shit. I'm not going to worry about your stuff because I'm so focused on what are people thinking about me, when everyone is honestly self-reflecting. That's just general rule of thumb. You see the things that you see because you are looking at yourself. You're your harshest critic all the time.
So yeah, that's exactly along the point I was attempting to make was you should honestly forget most of the assumptions, opinions, whatever you have made of yourself, because they're most likely unrealistic. Because one, they're, like I said, nobody's really gonna notice what you think. It's like when you get a haircut, or not just saying you, but anybody.
I did just get a haircut.
He got a fresh cut, everyone.
And you see the tiniest flaw. And this is true with you, so.
Oh yeah, my hair's my baby.
So you see the tiniest flaw, and you're like, "This is the worst fucking haircut ever," which and then you tell people.
Yeah, you told me yesterday your haircut. You told me something that was messed up about it.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I really like your haircut, and you're like, nah, this is wrong. Like, you told me something about it, and then you're like, this side's look
Nick
good
knows
though.
this especially. As soon as I get my haircut, I always hate it. I hate it. We get in the car because I always make him come with me because I make him come whenever I have to run errands. And I'll be like, dude, this looks like shit, even though it looks bomb as fuck. I'm just the
self-love.
So hard on myself.
I know. He's like, I know I look good right now.
But my point is, until you point out a flaw, nobody's gonna notice it. It's like if you have something on your shirt or something, right. They don't see it, and then you're like, yeah, but look at this, and they're like,
and then that's all they're gonna see.
They're like, oh, I only could tell when you told me to focus in on that. If you're not looking at that, nobody's gonna know.
Guys, take it easy on yourself.
For real.
Love yourself. We're trying to take steps to love ourselves. Me and Nick have been working out. We're about to get on that grind a lot more strict from now on. So try to love yourself.
Sorry.
So yeah, I just think lately, I have dropped a lot of the opinions I have had of myself, because I've realized, they're not very realistic. Like, and that's just the truth. And it's kind of hard, telling yourself all these thoughts you've had are inaccurate and unrealistic, but it's true. And I think we hold ourselves to such a high standard that it's impossible to meet. And I think once we start just realizing we're all human, everything's going to be fine. Nobody's going to notice the shit that you're noticing. Mm-hmm. The easier it is going to become to love yourself. And have you guys said everything you wanted to say on this? So here's my next question. And I don't really know how I feel about it. So my question is, do you think love is only found or can be created? And let me just clarify, not created in the sense of you are trying to create love. That is your goal. You know that, and you are aware and fully conscious of the thought that you are trying to create it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, you meet somebody, and you guys like each other, are attracted to each other, and then, you guys aren't, like, feeling it. Maybe, here, I'll give you guys a new example. Like, say a marriage. They fall in love, they get married.
Things get rocky.
ASAP
Rocky.
And then they either give up. Sometimes marriages will be dead. Like, yo, this fucking sucks. do you think there's ever a time where you can rebound from that, or like fix it? And it's maybe not love, but it's like it's something. I can't put a finger on it. But do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Kind of. I think you
Because I don't really get what I'm
I
saying.
think you can be in love and still not make it work. I think there are so many people that I know for a fact they loved each other. Both of them did. And it's just something in you that's not, maybe you're not willing to meet everything. Maybe you're trying, but it's just not quite meeting expectations. Sure, I think you can totally be in love and still not make it work. And I think vice versa, you could not be in love and make it work. Like you could be in a healthy relationship and not be in love.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if it's found or created, but like for example, like not like with people, but this is music. I
like where you're going with
I
this.
hated Tyler the Creator at first. At first, like especially like Cherry Bomb, for example, was not a fan of the album at first. I really wasn't. And
Tyler, if you're watching.
Tyler the Creator, like let's get this straight. This is my favorite artist in the world now. I was not a fan at all. And then I listened to the album maybe 3 times, and I eventually fell in love with it. I just found things that I could appreciate about it. Like I looked more into the verses, more into the instrumentals, and I ended up falling in love with it. But I would have put it at his worst album in the beginning.
I'm so glad you brought up music with this, and I didn't even think about it. But it's interesting because you can listen to a song and hate it. And you listen to it 4 more times, and you're
then
like,
it's like,
holy shit.
This is the best bop.
And that doesn't happen with all the songs you listen to. Like
some songs are just shitty.
Yeah, you can listen to them and you're like, I'll never enjoy this.
I've never
but then
had
there's
that
just,
with a Lil Pump song.
But then there's songs where you don't initially like, and then all of a sudden you relate to it and you listen to it on repeat. So can that be related? Like, can you apply that to people?
Yeah,
and I
for
think
sure.
you can.
Because there's feelings involved in it.
Yeah. I also think...
So is that found or is that created because you are...
I don't know. I feel like it's totally based off the way of the wording, because you can, you could have found a love for it.
I think you totally create the love.
How do you forge it?
Well, okay, here's the thing. I feel like there's people that I've met before, and like there's nothing. Like, don't care, couldn't care less. I've even had people that I dislike, and then
Lori's gonna create love for me.
Stop. All right, call Tony for me though.
Oh, fuck you.
But
Augusto.
I would never. I think I don't even know what point I was trying to make. Oh, I think you can totally like get to know someone and then fall in love off of that. I think you create love by how you view a person. So if I'm like super into you and then like I realize it's not there, then it's not there. But of course, if I get to know you.
But then that's tricky, and this question doesn't have
to be. But I feel like the way that it's worded is like found or created. That could be the same thing.
Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying, because like I can even think like just with the way I am with people, like I don't love anybody at first, but eventually I find reasons to love them and like reasons to let them in. Like I don't think I create those things because those things have always been there, but I think I discover them, and that's what gravitates me towards accepting them into my life.
So with that, I come to the conclusion that it's both found and created, because you find things that you enjoy,
and then as you come together, you create more things to love and more reasons to connect.
Killed it.
Sick, dude.
That was fucking perfect. So we know what we've learned and what we've.
We've been going for like an hour and 10, just so you know.
Yes, I know.
How do you know?
Because
the time, Kilo.
It's 1:06, buddy.
Idiot.
Anyways, no, we're gonna go into honesty hour pretty soon.
Okay.
Which we'll explain later because they don't really know.
Just sounds daunting.
It does.
Honesty hour.
Honesty.
Who wants to be honest?
Nobody these days. These hoes ain't loyal.
So we've learned what we've learned in relationships and what we like and what's valuable. Do you guys have any? Is there any appeal to you guys in a partner? Do you look for anything And I'm not saying like it has to be like you have a certain type, because I don't think anybody really has a type. I
My
think
type.
people love to say that.
I do not have a type. My
Exactly.
boys are across the board.
I mean, I'm attracted.
I know what you're gonna say. You are.
I am.
I
Do you look for anything in a partner before you?
Are we talking about looks, or are we talking about
qualities?
Oh, totally sense of humor. Like as I've said before, I totally look for a good laugh. Just the ability to have fun. That's just first quality off the back.
Off the back.
Off the rip.
dumbass?
Off the rip.
Qualities I look for: sense of humor, super important. Music taste. You burnt a coil already? Music taste is really important to me. I don't need you to like the same kind of music as me, but I need you to not like shitty music. By shitty, I mean shitty music. Don't like it.
Oh, dude, this is something that I hate when it comes to music.
Tell me
Listen
what you
to
hate.
whatever kind of music you want. Couldn't care less. But be willing to like openly find things to appreciate in any kind of music. Like there's people who will like completely shut out like a genre or just like a certain time period of music, but like there's so much to appreciate, and like all music like totally inspires the future creation of music. So like there's so much things you can appreciate.
I can appreciate certain kind of music, but there are some things that I don't like.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But like for example, there's this kid at school, and he used to like an artist. He used to like an artist, Tyler the Creator. Like, and we just all used to like mom. But then all of a sudden, like he could still love the music, but he completely shut it out and said that he hated it, hated everything about it, all because he realized like the other types of people that were into the music. And like I think
he
that's
got more popular.
I think that's ridiculous.
Of course,
there are people
I don't
who
really know how this relates to love at all.
like it's like something that turns me off to loving someone is not being open-minded to appreciating things even if you don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
There's certainly qualities that I don't look for though. I mean, like qualities that I steer away from.
Well, then
Like that
still,
if you
that's
have,
still
I'm like,
looking,
ew.
and you know what I'm saying. That's still looking out for like better not have that quality. So that would be a quality. Not having a quality is a different quality, right?
No, but I mean like having a bad quality.
Okay. I thought you'd understand what I just said, but
No.
clearly you didn't. For me, I would like to say I look for qualities, but I can't honestly really think of one. Because I just like learning about people. I don't really give a fuck off the jump what you care about, because I don't think it really matters. I think learning with people and, you know, them being open to, you know, learn and understand and appreciate. Maybe this is it. With what you said, being open-minded to new things and shit like that. That's it for me. I want to fucking experience everything that this world offers. I want to go to every country.
I want to try
Not every
type of
country.
food.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it's like, if this bitch is only eating Chinese food, I'm probably not gonna fuck with her.
Damn, sorry.
Yeah, when I said Chinese food, I thought about you.
Like, I couldn't fuck with her because she's not lactose intolerant, but she hates cheese.
I just don't like it.
Like
That's
First of all,
okay. I don't think you should never
if
go
we're
into a
gonna pick out
relationship.
qualities, for
No,
the
this is
record-
not where I want this podcast to go. So please, let's not bash each other. This is about love, guys.
Well, I love Caleb.
Yeah, I just hate Maddie.
Okay, fuck all you guys. So, I think this is a good time to go into honesty hour. And so when I first, you know, we kind of all had this idea. You know, I kind of said something, and they're like, "Yo, that'd be fucking sick," and it was like, "Oh, really? Yeah."
I never heard of that, so.
Yeah.
We were literally all in the car when I said it.
First time I'm hearing this shit.
This is honestly,
Fuck.
I've never even heard these words. come
Out
out
This
of
is
of
my
my
mouth.
honesty hour. I don't know.
Honestly,
Okay.
I'm confused.
I hate you guys so much right now.
Okay, tell him.
Maybe
So
you don't have the qualities you're looking for.
when I after letting them know and thinking about this as an actual possibility, I thought, what if I had at the end a little segment of just keeping it real, keeping it 100% with you guys, and I was like, I'll call it Honesty Hour. So pertaining to this episode, I would like to have an Honesty Hour about love and our current situation regarding that.
You're gonna have to start this
Yeah,
off.
I'm
Okay.
not going first. God, no.
No,
All right.
No, I just don't exactly
No.
know where he wants to go with this.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll just
Where he wants to go is wherever your honesty takes you, Caleb.
Let's get into it.
so being honest. I have a lot of problems in life, and love is probably the main one. Whether it's showing love, whether it's understanding that I'm receiving love, that's that's a problem. But there's not really a lot of love in my life besides my friends. I'm crushing hard right now, like super hard, and I don't think that she knows, and I want to keep it that way because she's tied down, and I don't want no smoke. I don't want any, because I just don't want it to go there. I don't want it to be about because she's a cool person and we're not even that close. I don't talk to her outside of school or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird because she's basically on my mind all the time, but I know that I'm not gonna go for it.
That would
And
suck.
it sucks, but that's my situation.
But it
right
happens,
now.
yeah.
Another thing is I would love to be in a relationship. I started my first relationship freshman year, dated for 2 years. As soon as I broke up with her, and it was a falling out. It wasn't just my decision. It was kind of almost mutual. I had gotten with a girl right after.
Maybe a week after.
Not a week.
Not even because
Less than a week.
Because it was kind of
because she
it was already happening.
Because she helped you get through the relationship, and then you guys realized you had feelings for each other,
Right.
and then it was just vroom.
It was vroom.
Dove right in, dude. Vroom, vroom. Lightning
Super
McQueen.
quick.
Lightning McQueen.
So that's another.
Little to no cool off time.
In fact, that last relationship, soon it will be our first, when the relationship started, in a couple of days.
Anniversary.
Yes, but we're not together, so I didn't really want to call it that. But that would make more sense. Anyways.
When we were first
The
together.
death anniversary.
Aww. R.I.P.
So yeah, I would like to be in a relationship because being alone romantically fucking blows. I think we can all agree. And it's just been weird because it was a constant thing. There was always a girl, and I was always sharing my feelings with somebody. And now I'm just not. There's nothing, and it fucking sucks. But that's just where I'm at, and I don't really want to rush anything, but at the same time, I feel like I probably would if I had the opportunity. So that's me keeping
on
it.
the lookout.
Yes, I'm on the lookout. So that's just me, my honesty hour, confessions, whatever you want to call it. You guys don't have to partake in this, but for me, this is kind of therapeutic.
I don't mind.
So
I might sit out on this.
Ugh.
All right, Mandy, take it away.
Current situation is interesting. I think right now I do like someone and we are talking. I don't really know. But I would say for me right now, I'm more focused on taking things slow because typically I really rush into things, and I think when I fall for someone, I fall really hard, really fast, and I'm trying to be careful and conscious about that. And so I think right now I'm just chilling out, and we're vibing, and if I meet someone, I meet someone, but I like who I'm talking to, and I'm just trying to keep it kind of relaxed. I don't want to rush into anything, and I think we've talked about it, and I think we're both really happy with where we're at and what we're doing now.
All right. Maybe I will get into this. All right.
Oh, Caleb says he's got to step in.
So, my current situation, honestly, I don't exactly know what I'm doing relationship-wise, but the reason I'm not just committing to a relationship is because right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to improve myself and trying to learn to love myself. Because my biggest struggle is definitely body image. I literally think I'm the fattest person on the planet. But it sounds so stupid saying
It sounds so stupid
Yeah.
because
But-
there are some fat people. My
Guilty.
600-pound life
Oh my god.
once was a.
But
I was on
That was too.
right now my current situation
Caleb wasn't.
is trying to truly like improve myself and learn to love myself, and then make the shot of what I want to do relationship wise once I really figure myself out and get my shit together. I'm not committing to anything until I know myself and love myself enough to know that I'm making the right decision for my life and my path. And that's why I'm open-minded.
Hell
I
yeah!
love that.
All right, guys. This has been a few choice words. This is your favorite piece of shit. Signing out. Caleb Rue, you have anything else to say?
My name is Caleb Baru.
Perfect. Maddie Thompson.
I mean, I'm Maddie. Also, good luck in your
Yes.
love endeavors.
If you got this far, I truly appreciate you listening.
Let's get real. You
Clearly they
didn't get
love
this
this.
far.
But if you really did, like, please
Props to you.
Please just, if you're on the YouTube, just leave a comment. Just let us know
Yeah,
that
let
you,
us know what you
that
wanna
you really
see.
cared, that you listened to the whole thing, and let us know if it brought you anything, if you disagree, if you agree, and what you want to know in the future.
Yeah, answer some of these questions in the comments.
And skip around. And I don't have any like hard feelings if you want to skip around or anything like that.
Yeah, if Caleb is talking, you just want to press the fast forward. I feel that I'm gonna do that when I rewatch this. So
All right. Well, this has been really fucking sick.
this
It's
has been a
actually
few
turned
choice
out-
words.
It's turned out a lot better. So I just want to thank you guys for being patient. This took a really long time.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. Make sure to love yourselves and give love and love each other because honestly, to me, that's my meaning in life
Yeah.
is to just be able to love people. So thank you guys. This is coming soon, baby.